Hi Desiree, thank you so much for coming in today.
Hello.
Can you maybe tell me what's on your mind, or?
Well, right now it's my parents. I've been doing a lot with them since, say about a year ago, I ended a relationship, and it's just been me living on my own, and it's kind of become okay, now she's by herself. We need to help her make sure she pays her bills on time. We need to help her make sure she's doing everything she's supposed to do. And it's kind of getting a little frustrating because, I'm a grown person. I know I made mistakes in life, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I need somebody to tell me how to run my life. So that's right now, that's kind of what I'm dealing with, and trying to figure out what's the best way to talk to them about it, and kind of just move past it so that we can make things better with us.
Sounds like you were wanting some independence maybe from your parents, and you want them to trust you again.
Yeah.
Because you're feeling like you're an adult and you don't need them looking over you.
Yeah, exactly. Like, for me, a lot of it is, there's things that I feel like, of course, I'm going to want my parents' help with. And then there's things where it's like, you know what, I've been living by myself for a while. I already know how to do all that. Especially like, I said, pay the bills, if, my mom knows the rent's due on the 1st. She's like, oh, so did you pay the rent yet? And I'm like, yeah, I paid the rent. I know to do that. I was doing it when, I was in the relationship. So, and then, it's like almost every time I talk to her, she asks me, okay, so did you take care of this? Did you take care of that? And it's like, I feel like I'm a kid going, yes, mom, trying to just, get her off my back. And sometimes, even if I didn't do it, I'll tell her I did it just so she won't bother me.
Right. You sound a little frustrated maybe.
Sometimes it can be. It makes it hard for me to want to call her and have a conversation, because I don't want her to feel like she's always got to tell me what to do, and I don't know how to be gentle about the situation, because I worry that she's going to call me and she's going to say something, and I may be like, you know what, mom, leave me alone, I don't want to talk about this, and then she's going to be like, well, fine, then, and then just not want to talk to me anymore about anything. And I don't want her to not be there for me, because I'm hopefully someday, if she decide to buy a house, it'd be nice to have someone to talk to about that kind of thing. So, because they own houses. And
so they've had experience, and you want to be able to depend on them for that experience.
Yeah.
And guidance, even, because they are your parents. But you're kind of trying to find that fine line between parents and friendship as an adult.
Exactly. Trying to move on and grow up, but still, I still want them to be my parents, and so I can go to them about things, but I don't want to be their little girl. I want to, like you said, if I'm thinking about getting a mortgage loan or something, I want to be able to talk to them and ask questions about, well, how did you guys do this? What was the best route? Or, if I want to buy a car, maybe having my dad come down and look at cars with me, and like I said, I know I've made mistakes in my past, where I've, messed things up, but it doesn't necessarily mean that I've learned from those mistakes. And I'm moving on, and I'm trying to do better things about it. I'm going back to school to try and, better myself. So that's what I'm dealing with right now as far as my parents go.
Right. Have you, maybe, because it sounds like you're kind of protective of hurting your mom's feelings, have you approached the subject, and if so, how has she responded?
I haven't had a big conversation with her. I did try and kind of be like, mom, I can take care of this. I understand. And she's like, okay, all right, I'll leave you alone. But it kind of sounded like she may have been a little hurt, because the way she was like, well, then I'll leave you alone about it. It kind of like, oh, you don't need me, and it's like, it's not that I don't need you. It's just that I can do these things. I know how to take care of these issues. So
Right.
I'm not worried about having to count on somebody, you know. And then too, now that, it's just me, I think they think that I don't know how to take care of things. Because, before I was in a relationship, there was two people, we were together
Yeah.
taking care of stuff. So it gets a little frustrating, but, I'm trying to figure out a way of having the conversation with her without making her feel like she's not wanted.
Right.
That's kind of the biggest issue I have.
Well, I hear you saying that you really care about your mom's feelings and even your dad's, and you just don't want to cross any boundaries because you don't want to upset them or hurt them, because you do respect their thoughts and feelings and you want their guidance, but you're just still kind of hesitant to know how to go about with this.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, like, my dad, I feel like if I tried to talk to him about it, he would be a little more understanding. He'd just be like, okay, Desiree, all right, I understand, But my mom, I feel, when I take after my mom, in the fact that, she's a fixer and I'm a fixer. So, like, if somebody's got an issue, we want to try and help them fix it, somebody wants to buy a car or something, or, I'll research it online and be like, these are the things I found, or someone will just like mention something, and next thing you know, I'm like, oh, and I'm taking it on and I'm trying to like, hey, look what I discovered, this is pretty cool for what you were talking about, and I know for her, for me, I've learned to pull back and realize not everybody wants my help like that. But I feel like with her, it's like, it's habit when it comes to me, especially since my sister won't let her really get as involved as I have in the past.
Right.
And so,
well, I hear some excitement from you when you sit here and talk about how you like to fix things and how you like to help people. So how do you think you can take that and use that in the situation with your mom and your parents regarding frustrations with independence?
Maybe I could talk to her and let her know some of my goals that I want, where I would probably meet her, and maybe I could steer her away from feeling like she has to help me with everything, because, I enjoy talking to my mom. I like talking to her, telling her about what's going on in my life. I don't want to, like, have to feel like I can't talk to her about everything, and so maybe I could start just letting her in on some things that I feel like she'd be really good at. Like I said, like, maybe researching places I could live for me, and then I don't have to like go into that huge deal of trying to find, good locations or things, because I know for her, she likes to do research like that, and she'll be like, well, I found this for you, and that might be something I could look into, letting her do that.
Yeah.
So,
And that would be good.
yeah.
I think that'd be a good start. Because I don't want you to feel like one of your good things, your good qualities of being a helper and a fixer, I hear you saying that you want to find that neutral ground. And that's understandable because you don't want to offend your parents. You want to deepen that relationship.
Yeah, and like I said, my parents, they're good people, and I know no matter what, they're always going to be there for me.
Right.
And, I just don't want to take the relationship and kind of make my mom, I don't necessarily bitter, but like I said, my sister is very independent, so if she calls my mom, like, my mom can tell exactly when my sister wants advice. My sister will say the magic word, and my mom's like, okay, well, that's my indicator that she wants advice, but if my mom starts trying to give her advice about something she doesn't want to talk about, or not something she really wanted advice from, my sister will be like, okay, that's not why I called you. But I'm not there.
Right.
I don't know how to be like, that's not why I called you, Mom, and I don't want to do that and hurt her,
Right.
and make her feel like she can't.
Well, I
be there
hear you,
for me.
I'm sorry, I hear you saying that you want to get there.
Yeah.
You want to get there, so it sounds like you might be ready. And what do you think you could do to get there? You say you want to sit down and talk to her. What do you think is different from your sister's relationship and being able to do that, and you say that you're not there yet?
I feel like my sister is very, I love my sister, but she can be very selfish sometimes. It's all about her, and so if she doesn't feel like what you're trying to say or what you're trying to do is going to help her, then she doesn't want anything to do with it. Whereas for me, it's like, I feel like all my actions and all my words, I choose very carefully, so that I won't offend someone, or, I don't, not on purpose. So like, even sometimes when I feel like I have conversations with somebody, I'll be like, okay, so this is gonna come out kind of weird, but I don't mean it like this, and so I'll say what I have to say so that I don't hurt their feelings when I say it, because I don't want to cross that boundary where, I hurt their feelings and they don't want to have a conversation with me anymore, or don't want to be friends with me, I guess. Because, it's like, wow, she's really hateful, or she's a mean person. And that's not who I am.
It sounds like your family's really caring, though, and supportive of you, even your sister or your parents or anything. It sounds like you have a good support system. You're just trying to find that level ground, the neutral ground, where everybody, including yourself, is kind of in a happy place.
Yeah. That's it. That's definitely true. Because, I couldn't have done half the stuff I've done if it wasn't for my parents. Right. So I try to make sure I don't, like I said, I want them to be a part of my life. I want them to be there. I just want them to redirect some of their energy, so I think maybe maybe I could talk to my mom a little bit, and maybe not necessarily over the phone, maybe her and I can have a sit-down conversation about things and kind of go from there. That way she doesn't feel like, by me doing this over the phone, I'm trying to push her away. Whereas if we do it face to face, maybe she won't feel so offended by it.
Well, you sound really genuine, and that's a good first step, it sounds like. So I think you're on the right track, and I would like to encourage you to possibly go about those. So what are some goals that we could set to see where you can go from this?
Maybe, like I said, maybe I could kind of think about some things that I want my parents to pull back on, and maybe talk to them about it, and let them know that, I do feel like a capable person, and I can handle those things.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, if I go and have a conversation, because, they live in another state. So the next time I see them, maybe we could try and sit down and just have a nice conversation, not like, nothing too crazy. And then maybe talk to my mom about, I know I'm going to need your help with these things, but I want you to have confidence in me that I'm able to do the rest.
Right.
So.
Well, like I said, it sounds like you really are there and that you're ready. So, like I said, I want to encourage you. So I appreciate you opening up today and just kind of putting everything out there. And I know that's not an easy thing to do, and I appreciate your honesty and your genuineness. Like, I feel that that's something very, very positive about you. And I think you're on the right track, and I encourage you to follow through with the goals that you've said out loud today. So once again, Desiree, thank you for coming in, and I just thank you for being honest.
Thank you.